All right, let's talk about something that's probably draining your business without you even realizing it. All those small, repetitive tasks. We're going to dig into how you can use something called no-code automation to turn those daily headaches into some seriously big wins for your company.
So, does this sound familiar? You walk in ready to crush your big goals for the day, but bam, you're stuck copying and pasting data, manually sending follow-up emails, or building that same weekly report again. You're not alone. This is a huge source of frustration for so many businesses out there.
It's more than just annoying. It's what I like to call the manual task trap. It's this vicious cycle that just eats up time and energy, and it actively stops you and your team from focusing on the stuff that actually grows the business. Strategy, innovation, the fun stuff.
And here's the bottom line. Your team's most precious resource, the one thing you can never get back, is time. Every single hour someone spends on a manual task that a computer could do is a lost hour. It's an hour they could have spent talking to a customer or coming up with a brilliant new idea. It's a massive bottleneck, and it's holding you back.
But what if you could break out of that trap? Well, you can. Welcome to the no-code revolution. And trust me, this is a total game changer. It's a completely new way of working that puts the power to automate right into the hands of the people who are actually doing the day-to-day work.
So what in the world is no-code automation? Honestly, the best way to think about it is like building with Legos. It's all about using these cool tools to connect the different apps you already use, and you build these automated processes with a simple drag-and-drop interface. And the best part, you don't need to know a single line of code. Seriously, no programming skills required.
And this isn't some niche underground thing anymore. It's a full-blown movement, with some really amazing platforms leading the charge. You've probably seen names like Zapier or Make floating around. Maybe you've heard of Microsoft Power Automate. These are the engines that are making all of this possible for everyone. And the way it works is just so beautifully simple. It's all based on a when this happens, then do that kind of logic. So for example, you choose your apps, let's say it's your email and your sales CRM. Then you define a trigger, like when a new email with the word inquiry in the subject line comes in. Then you set an action. Then automatically create a new lead in my CRM. And just like that, boom, your workflow is live and running 24/7 in the background for you.
Okay, that all sounds pretty cool in theory, right? But what does this actually look like in the real world? What's the real impact? Let's take a look at how businesses are turning these simple little workflows into some major tangible wins.
Check this out. Sales and marketing teams are using tools like Zapier to instantly grab leads from their website forms and automatically send out the first 1 or 2 follow-up emails. What's the result? They're saving literally hours of boring data entry every week. This frees up the sales team to do what they do best, actually talk to people and close deals.
And in e-commerce, the impact is huge. Imagine using a tool like Make to connect your online store to your inventory and shipping software. All of a sudden, order processing is completely automated. That means you get products out the door faster, you make fewer mistakes, and what's the end result? Much, much happier customers. It's a direct line to better service.
Now, of course, nothing is totally free. Putting a new system like this in place does require an investment. So let's get real for a minute and talk about the costs and the potential risks, like compliance, that you need to have on your radar. The upfront cost can really vary. For simpler workflow solutions, you might be looking at something starting around $10,000. But if you're getting into more complex stuff, like what's called robotic process automation, or RPA, which can actually mimic how a person clicks around on older software, then yeah, the cost can go up towards $100,000. It really just depends on how big you want to go.
And yeah, it's not just a one-time thing. You've got to plan for those ongoing costs. Subscriptions to the platforms, maintenance, support. A pretty good rule of thumb is to budget somewhere around 15 to 25% of your initial cost per year just to keep everything running perfectly.
And last but definitely not least, you absolutely cannot ignore compliance. Think about it. When you automate, you're moving customer data around, so that means you have to be serious about security, following standards like those from NIST to keep that data safe. It also means making sure any AI you use is fair and transparent, and of course, following all the local data laws wherever you do business. This is a super critical piece of the puzzle.
So with all of that on the table, the big question is, where do you even start? Let's switch gears from the why to the how and lay out a super clear, simple path for you to get started on your own automation journey.
Think of this checklist as your roadmap. Step 1, define your goals. But don't try to automate everything at once. Just find that one single process that drives everyone crazy and wastes the most time. Step 2, Pick a tool, and hey, almost all of them have free trials, so use them. See what feels right. 3. Plan for training. People have to know how to use it for it to work. And finally, number 4, remember this isn't a set it and forget it deal. Keep an eye on your workflows and be ready to tweak them to make them even better.
And here's what you can do right now. Don't try to boil the ocean. Just start exploring 1 or 2 of those platforms we mentioned. Then pick one small, low-risk process and run a pilot test. See how it goes. Ask your team what they think. And only after you've got a clear win, a success story, should you start thinking about scaling up. Remember, it's those small wins that build the momentum you need for a really big change.
And that really brings us to the final, most important question. I want you to really think about your day, your team's day. What is that one nagging, repetitive, soul-crushing task that you're going to automate away first so you can finally get back to doing the work that really matters?